officials say they've shut down the Marwako restaurant at La here in Accra following a threat which they say they neutralized.
Now, about 11 a.m. this morning, we got reports that there was some gas leakage at the Gulf filling station here at La. But upon our visit, we realized that that is not the case. The gas leakage is actually happening here at the La branch of the Marwako restaurant. As you can see behind me, the fire service, they are here to keep the situation under control. They've been here for close to 2 hours. Earlier, we spoke to an ADMO official who also told us that they got wind of the information and they were here to ascertain the situation. They have been here to assess the situation on the ground now, and they have confirmed to JoyNews that the place is safe. There's no casualty, no one has been hurt, neither has anyone died as a result of the gas leakage. And let me also put on record that there was no fire as well at the La branch of the Marwako restaurant. But I can confirm to you that the restaurant is shut down temporarily because of the incident. We do not know when they would open to the public, and so that is the latest situation here at the La branch of the Marwako restaurant. Very short. Well, as I speak to you, I could still smell the gas leaking right from here, but firemen on the ground tell me that that is expected because of the work they are doing. Very shortly, we'll speak to an eyewitness to give us his account of what actually happened here at the La branch of the Marwako restaurant.
So that is my colleague Enes Menu there, who has just joined me in the studio with some more of what our cameras were able to capture at this point. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you, Gifty.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Have I hosted you here? No.
On the Pulse, no.
Okay.
Editors from yes.
Editors from, okay. Yeah. So what was it really that gave everybody else the impression that there was some sort of gas explosion or fire? Really, what
okay, so when the gas leakage started at the Marwako restaurant, the staff there took the initiative themselves to go around to caution neighbors, businesses around to be worried that this is what is happening, and so they need to be on the guard. Now, a lot of people at the time were at the Total and Gulf filling station. You could see them run from that end, and so it gave people the impression that that was where the leakage was happening, and soon there was going to be an explosion. But that was not the case. The leakage was happening at Marwako, and they had been out there. Of course, they had left there because they wanted to be safe, and of course make sure that there was no injury or any casualty whatsoever, right. and also to caution those around that this is what is happening, and so if you have to close down, do so immediately. In the meantime, we have called the fire service to come deal with the situation.
And whilst they were at it, did they running away or walking away, etc.? Did they cause any sort of stampede?
Not exactly, but of course people were all over the place, helter-skelter, right. And you know we have a major road just in front of the restaurant and the Gulf filling station as well, and so people were actually worried that what is happening. And indeed, when I got there, immediately the smell of the gas welcomes you. Okay, right. So of course, with what happened at Atomic, people will certainly be concerned, right. And worried and agitated that what is happening here.
So you did speak to some of them. What did they tell you?
Yes, I spoke to some of them. I spoke to a man whose office is just opposite the restaurant and the Gulf filling station. He said he was in his office when he heard some noise outside, and when he got out of the office, he was told that this was happening, and so he needs to close down. There was another person who said that she had actually found out that this was the first time this has happened
at Marwako.
That occasionally there are leakages, but they've not heeded to their complaints, and so we can listen to them. And I bet,
right, we can't listen to them, but I bet that this happened because, this alert was came up because of what has happened in Atomic.
Absolutely.
But that's just me and Enes thinking aloud, okay? But let's hear the eyewitnesses.
So what exactly happened? What did you see?
Well, I was in my office. My office was upstairs, and we just saw people running away from the Total and Gulf stations. We were wondering what it was. Well, so I asked my staff to check what exactly was happening, and apparently the restaurant, Marwako, had a massive gas leakage, and it was very serious that if you even walked towards the pavement, you could smell the gas. So the fire service did very well. They came to announce that everybody must leave. two stations, and they all walked towards my office. But then after staying somewhere here, I realized that I could even smell the gas. So I just announced that, look, everybody move your cars away. Let's close the office till the place is cleared. So that's what exactly happened. But then I'll say a very big thank you to the team from the fire service. They did very well. They really even got here before we got to know that this was it.
Now me was in shop. Our partner so intimate say be 1 hour ago. Now me tell her yes she fee but na omo wo ho a de ni niam a omo ye nti won te hwe nti me bisa say na de na esi me de na e busy na me ye medwuma de na esi ansa na ekire me hu se nkrofo nyina dwane won a wo nyina ye dum obi.
So that's one of the eyewitnesses. He's basically saying that for about an hour ago, that was an hour ago, before Anna started speaking to her, she heard something that sounded like, you know, the sound of gas or something like that. And then she saw everybody running helter-skelter, so she tried to know exactly what was happening. And Ernest is still here with me. Ernest, what did the fire service say when they got in? I understand they're attributing this to their timely intervention.
Yeah, that is what they're saying. And I must say that before I got there, the fire service was already there. We got information, we got, you know, wind of this around 11. By the time I got there, they were already there in the kitchen, you know, putting out some foam, some water, just to make sure that they put the situation under control. I spoke to the PR, the deputy PR for the Ghana National Fire Service, Billy Anaglate. He indeed confirmed to us that it was some leakage that was happening there. They had to do everything possible to keep the situation under control. And the reason why we could still smell the gas at the time was because they were allowing what was left out of the cylinder so that they can deal with it completely.
All right, we can hear him now.
Actually, when we had the call at 10:34, we dispatched our tender from the headquarters, which is the nearest fire station. They got there in a very good time. When they got there, they saw that one of the 3 gas cylinders that have been depended on by the restaurant was actually positioned in a metal plate. And there was slow combustion, and the slow combustion has eaten into the cylinder and has perforated a portion of the cylinder. The gas was actually gushing out. So what our men did was to prevent an explosion. So they started cooling the whole cylinder. That will reduce the temperature that could explode the cylinder. And it got to a time they decided to ensure that the gas in the cylinder is quickly depleted. So they opened the valve on the gas cylinder. And since 10:34 they got here, this is exactly what they've been doing. By looking at the pressure being reduced in the cylinder, we believe maybe in the next few minutes, they should be able to ensure that the last drop of gas is out of the cylinder, and that will be the end of it.
Okay, so as we speak now, we can smell the gas because of the operation ongoing.
Yeah, exactly. We are releasing the gas into the atmosphere to ensure that we deplete what is in the cylinder.
It does sound scary to me when you're releasing the gas into the atmosphere when I'm there. But anyway, this man was there. He's not afraid. He's not as fearful as I am. Ernest, thank you so much for that update. I know. Sure. You don't have a choice.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Ernest, for that update.
And
we'll bring you, Ernest will put that together in a very nice package in our subsequent bulletins. But let's hear from Marwako. Marwako has, you know, seemed to have been in the news for some time now. But let's hear from them. How do they intend to deal with this particular problem?
Very well, the briefing that I received, for me, I think that it was normal thing I expected from the management because here at Marwako, we have taken the step to work on our customer service, work on our quality assurance and the customer, security, so as well as our employee. So there's a special training that our workers actually went through just to make sure they are empowered, given that, that security know-how to be able to detect certain things that hitherto could bring about, loss of property and lives. So this morning, the normal routine of workers to come before you start work, you need to check every single thing that you lay your hands on. So one of the workers detected a leakage from one of our cylinders, and all that he did was to call the manager to inform him, and the manager never hesitated. What he did was to call the fire service, because we have a working relationship with fire service, because they came here to train our workers, so we have that working relationship. So as soon as the manager called fire service, they came within 10 minutes. When they came, we took them to the place. The manager took them and explained to them, this is the situation. Yes, they detected that, yes, indeed, there was a leakage. So what they have to do is to discharge the gas that is in that cylinder, exactly what happened today.
Okay, so that has been explained by the fire service, but speaking to residents around and to other shop owners, there's a chop bar right behind this restaurant. They tell us this is not the first time this has happened. In fact, they have drawn your attention to this, but you've not heeded their complaint. How do you respond to that?
No, you see, Ernest, in everything that you do in this life, you need to go through certain challenges and you need to make certain mistakes along.
Marwako in the news again, and I'm sure it's a developing story. We'll bring you more on that as and when necessary. But today, there's tension among oil marketing companies following government's new regulations aimed at forestalling disasters associated with gas and petrol in the future. In the studio, by the way, is Chief Executive of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Kukwajima Njua. They have some serious concerns with government's new regulations that were issued last week, especially, I suppose, with the one concerning cessation of all new gas stations. Mr. Jumadra, thank you very much for joining us in the studio today.
Thank you, Gifty.
Are you not concerned that people may die, could die, have died, if we do not take this matter a bit more seriously than we have done as a country so far?
Gifty, thank you very much. We have been very serious. Otherwise, we will not have run 3,400 outlets for the filling stations and having 600 outlets for the gas. And it will interest you to know that even where we have the outlets, that's where sometimes we have our head office. So we are concerned about safety, and if we had not been very meticulous in what we do, I'm sure there will be more as disasters.
Oh,
so
then it means that we're doing pretty well. Terribly.
But no, there's one thing, Gifty. Safety goes like that. And you know, like for instance, what happened June 3rd? It was my first, I'm almost like 55 years. And it's like the first time in so many years that it has happened. And safety, what you do is you work on what happens. Now, you realize that even that June 3rd report, we have never even had it.
Well, maybe you should be in a position to tell us why.
We don't know, because what happened is that no, the report is for the government.
Yeah, but you are part of the government. You are a stakeholder. You are
and we have written. What we have done is that we have followed through. We have never had it. And the one that we just had was the Labadi incident.
Okay.
Had a very comprehensive report. It's one of the best reports I ever read, and it's very, very good because there were some contributing factors which help us to change some of the things that we do.
Okay.
So we believe that once we have these incidents, I'm not saying they should come a lot, but we investigate near misses, and such incidents will help us to develop more.
And get better
all the time.
Which is why it appears what government seems to be doing. If we want to get better, learn from our mistakes, even though we don't seem to have done very well with what has happened in the past. If we want to go forward, learning from our mistakes, and government is saying that this is a new policy that we're bringing in, it appears it's going to affect most of your members. And perhaps you're looking at it more from a business angle, to the disadvantage of, vulnerable Ghanaians like myself who don't know what's happening at the filling station.
The fact is, where is business when there are no people?
Exactly.
That's the philosophy.
Okay.
So obviously, people have to be safe before we can do anything.
Certainly.
And we have to make sure that it's safe. It's our primary responsibility.
But you don't believe that what government is doing will make us safe?
It's a shared responsibility. What government has brought up, let me correct, is no regulations. They are decisions of the cabinet.
Right.
Right? And the concerns that we have is that we have put them together. In fact, I must tell you, the weekend we had to have, our members were calling like crazy, and I had about 150 missed calls on my stuff.
They're scared?
I tell you.
That their businesses are going down?
No, there were no clarity in some of the things.
Okay.
So we rather seeking to have dialogue with the government so that we can have some clarity.
Okay, which of them for you doesn't have?
I said now, I think we put them all together. We are in the discussion now. It would not be very good for me and for us as a sign of good faith, just trying to preempt what is going to happen.
Okay.
So as soon as we are done, we'll be the first to know.
Have you engaged government on this?
Yes, we do. We started having. We had a meeting yesterday.
Okay.
Late in the afternoon. So we started the process.
At what level?
And I call them the 9 lessons and carols.
You call it what?
The 9 lessons and carols.
The 9 lessons and carols, which will be having
soon. There are some lessons. So we're trying to work it out with the government as one after the other.
What decision did you arrive at that meeting?
Oh, basically it's dialogue.
Okay.
Yes. Dialogue
to
make sure that we get, in dialogue sometimes it's a win-win issue.
Okay.
It might be lose-win, but it depends on who is at the other end. So we are really sure that we get something good.
What can you give up as OMCs? What can you give up if government should pass this? I mean, right now it sounds pretty much like a decree, even though we're not in a dictatorship. But it sounds pretty much like something that government is determined to. It appears the people are willing to support government in this. I mean, people feel it, because we don't understand the business. It is your business, so you can explain it. But for someone like me, and I'm worried about my grandmother if she lives close to a filling station, I don't understand it. All I know is that government is trying to protect me, and you are resisting.
No, we are not resisting. I don't know where you had the resistance coming from.
Exactly why I'm trying to get you to explain to us.
What's happened is that the kind of news around, people saying strike action and that kind of thing, it's none of that. No.
Okay.
I mean, the leadership, we met and be able to, all that we want to see is clarity.
Okay.
For instance, if you want to close down a station.
How? What exactly
what's involved and that
it's
kind
a
of
fair
thing.
Question.
And I mean, you need to work out this very well. Some of the issues are just thinking on it, but we have to make sure that we get clarity so that our members will understand.
And in that meeting, did they provide you a bit of comfort that you will get clarity at least going forward?
Definitely, we know we're going to have comfort.
Definitely,
we're going to have comfort.
You're going to have comfort.
We're going to have comfort.
What did they promise you?
Oh, basically, we all stakeholders.
Yes. So
it's not like the government want to keep people safe and we want to kill people. No. We are not monsters. We are not criminals.
Certainly not.
Yes, we are all Ghanaians just like you. Like you are a media person and we are in the oil industry.
Yes.
We have to complement each other. And that's what we are trying to do. So we want to make sure that we have a situation, safety is the core thing.
Okay.
And we want to make sure, in the industry, that's what it is.
So the major part of you say it's not a regulation, but when government says, when the president says, yes, it's a decision, but then it is something that we're willing to.
You know the procedure. If it's regulation, it has to go to Parliament.
Okay.
Nothing has gone there. And what we have is decision. So that's the point that makes us be able to, as stakeholders, to be able to discuss. Exactly.
Okay, which is what you're doing at the moment. But which part of it really scares you so much? Is it the part of the where they're shutting down stations and the part that they are suspending, say, pending applications?
There are 9 items. Even the intro and even the 9 items, there's no clarity. For you sitting outside, yes, you see it differently. But for us in the industry, there's a lot to be concerned with. And that's why we want to have clarity.
If government doesn't change its mind and goes on to, and mind you, government has majority in Parliament, by the way. So if it wants to take this to Parliament and work around it to make sure that it becomes binding, it can. Assuming government doesn't listen to you and goes ahead to do this, what's going to happen?
There's one thing. It's government prerogative to have a policy, right? And it's for us also to look at how we can fit into the policy.
Okay.
And that's what we have. And that's why we bring two of us to the table to discuss. How can we be on the same thing for you? Right. And that's what we want to do. Okay. It's not like we sit somewhere against government policy. No.
Okay.
Government will do policy to benefit you and me.
Certainly.
But we want to see where the role I will play, the role that you play. And that's what we want to talk about.
And that's if they implement it to benefit all of us. So for you, when you hear that people have died, and this is your business, this is something that you do.
Honestly, even we feel so terrible that we should be apportioning blame and doing that kind of thing. In our culture, when somebody dies, even for the 1 week period, we don't even talk about it. And here we are everywhere, we're talking about it, putting blame on people and that kind of thing. That's not to be. I don't know where we copy this one from.
But that's because perhaps we are tired. We're tired of having people die in preventable accidents.
But the way it is today, we nip on this, and there's a team.
But if we don't find the problem,
no. But you see, we have a country of rules. We have some people their duty is to investigate. That's why in our press statement, we never even said anything about the incident. All that we talked about was the fact that people were harassing our people and shutting, just going around shutting things down. But the other side of it was that we are waiting for the committee's report.
You did mention that the June 3 report, for example, you are in the business. You never saw
had
it.
Anything.
So that's why people are agitated. That's why people are angry.
Oh, but
we don't
the one we had at Labadi, we had a very good report.
Okay, let me find out from you what your thoughts are as OMCs on how exactly we can keep stations, gas stations, fuel stations, especially in residential areas and commercial areas, safe. How can we build up safety around these places?
You just mentioned about Marwako.
Marwako, yes.
That one is not a filling station.
Yes, it's not.
It's a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it happened. There's one happened prior to this one, Sunyani. The same thing happened. There's one happened at Kaswa. It's an Aussie acetylene bottle. So the issue is not siting of station. I mean, it's just doing things safely. That's all the whole thing is.
Which is what I'm trying to drive at. What ought to be done to keep for the proper safety measures to exist? What should we see? What should we experience? What should we, see happening?
For every job that is done, there's always standard practice, standard safe practice that you have to do. And in our case, you have got standard safety practice, i.e., you need to train people. You have to train the people with the job they are going to do. We need to go through the issue of siting of stations, which are permits and licenses that are given according to all the... It's one of our industry. The industry is one of them which is highly regulated. We have 6 different ministries looking at us. So nobody can just go and site station anywhere. You can't do it. If you do it, if MMDAs do not catch you, EPO catch. If it doesn't catch you, MPO catch. If it continues like that, fire service will come on you.
But it's an open secret, maybe not even a secret, that you can influence people. If you have political power, you can bring people of influence to influence other people to make you to get away with things around here in this country.
There are documents to prove that people have it. They have it in such a way that...
So you can have the document, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have done everything right.
If anybody has got any question, they can just make a complaint or send to court. And these are some of the things we Ghanaians fail to do. Now, if you have one case, maybe you and me will be able to talking about it confidently.
I hear you, sir. Right. We hope that we're able to reach not just a win-win situation conclusion, but a conclusion that saves us, a conclusion that makes sure that we
will have that.
Thank you very much for passing through the studios. Mr. Ajumendria is the president of the OMCs Association. I'm going to take another quick break. You're still watching The Pulse with me, Gifty Ando up here. But when I return, in the studio with me shortly will be persons who have survived burns. You see it from their faces, I tell you. And we'll hear their chilling stories. Also, we'll hear from the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, famous Atiku Officer Jaba, who is responding to those of you who have been criticizing her on social media because she took a selfie at the United Nations. We'll hear from them when we return.